Alright guys, welcome back to another DFFOO video where we are going to take a look into Eald'narche's LD weapon, the next LD weapon to be dropping to global DFFOO via his launch chapter. Now, in this video, I'm going to be doing the fight, and I'm mainly just going to be showcasing how an Eald'narche works in this Lufenia fight, and of course showcasing his LD weapon. Now, also as part of this team comp, Emperor will be synergy when this does arrive to global, but right now in this video he is not synergy because the event has already passed like months ago, so he is not getting that synergy bonus. And the same goes for Aerith. Aerith will be synergy for the Eald'narche Lost chapter in global, but at the moment in this video she is not. The only one that is synergy is Eald'narche himself. Now with his LD weapon, which is called Exceed Lance, it is a 6-hit distributed range brave attack plus a 2-hit AoE range brave attack plus an AoE HP attack with a 200% overflow. It deals split HP damage between all targets, and all targets do receive a 3-turn debuff called the Nourishment for Paradise, and you also get a free skill use on Eald'narche's next turn. Now, the Nourishment for Paradise debuff, it lowers defense by 20% and it steals Brave based on 10% of their max Brave. Now, with Eald'narche's LD weapon, if you want my honest thoughts on it, it doesn't really seem like it does much aside from maybe a small defense down, and you get a free skill use. So technically for your main skills, you would be getting an extra 3 skill usage because you do have the LD only has a max count of 3 uses. Now, in my opinion though, for people who are curious as to if they should pull or not, really it just depends on how your resources are looking. The only thing about with Eald'narche is that of course he is getting his crystal level 80, so on and so forth. He is getting his LD weapon, but aside from that, he's not really getting too much of a notable difference just because of him getting his LD weapon. Now, whenever he gets his BT weapon in the future, there might be a slight upgrade to his kit in terms of how you are going to use it, but other than that, you're not really receiving too much if you do decide to pick up his LD weapon, aside from, well, free ability uses and a frame debuff, and that's about it. You're not really getting too much out of his LD, and you know, which is why I feel like people may or may not pass up on this weapon and probably wait until he gets his BT weapon, which he does have his BT weapon equipped right now, but I am not going to be using it or talking about it in this video. We will talk about it whenever we get closer to his BT release, because his BT weapon is actually a pretty good one with his BT effect. But other than that though, I mean, like the nice thing about Eald'narche and what he does is basically he just prevents the enemy from doing any type of move, which is nice, as long as you have the correct debuffs from his skills. Like the Terra debuff basically just makes it so that the enemies will not move it out. Just kind of think of it as like a confusion, except that Eald'narche also does move up on the turn sequence, so you will have the ability to do pretty much whatever you desire. Now for me myself, I did mention in my pool planning video that I'll probably throw like maybe 100 tickets or so, probably less than that, just depending on just really depending on how I feel about him at the time of his banner release. But as of right now, just like reading the stuff off of paper, I am probably just gonna throw maybe 50 tickets at the minimum. Now it just, how can I say this, it really just depends on if you are needing somebody who is able to have a bit of control via his whatchamacallit, I guess basically just control the fight is pretty much it. Like if you are wanting somebody who is pretty much not letting the ball, basically just think of it as like another HP silence, let's just say that, except that you have that additional add-on to it as well. Now, one thing to know, I guess we can briefly talk about the fight, is whenever he has that green aura up, you want to be careful and not let that attack go off, because if you do let that attack go off, you are going to be in some big trouble, because more than likely it is going to nuke you because of that limit break attack. So you want to be careful and either not let him put any type of HP silence on him, or just not let him make a move. That's pretty much the best thing, because there's not much of a way to avoid it. I am not 100% sure if you can prevent it via, like, say, Warrior of Light or maybe even Bosch, because it is a very hefty attack. Now, thankfully, I have Terror on, so it's not going to be doing anything. Now, there is a way to get around that where the limit break attack actually goes away. After a certain amount of times, the limit break attack, or I guess like the gauge on it, will actually disappear, and then it'll have to restart its whole session until it fills up its bar again. Also, one thing to note is that if you are planning to bring Lightning, because a lot of people may be considering bringing her to this fight, as long as the side mobs are dead, you can delay this bug. But if the side mobs are alive, you cannot delay this bug. Also, with the side mobs, the side mobs will return after 10 actions. I believe it's 10 player actions, and that doesn't include the enemy. Yeah, so we're getting near the end of this fight. Of course, the twins did most of the work. Well, not most, but you know, they did a decent chunk amount of damage against Bug Boy. Okay, luckily Terror is active. Ooh, nice. We'll just keep spamming skill 1, because skill 1 does that full AoE damage. Ow. And sadly, because the bugs are on the field, they are not going to get pushed back. Now, if you are going to be using Eald'narche in this fight, one thing to note is to really pay attention to your debuffs. Make sure that Terror is active. Make sure that if you're not bringing Eald'narche and you're bringing somebody who has like HP Silence, like say Kefka or Ciela, and I think there's one more character that doesn't pop into mind. Yeah, definitely make sure that you're paying attention to all that, because you definitely don't want to get screwed over and then there's, you know, the end and you're gonna have to start the fight all over again. Well, if you were curious to know what that attack does, it was that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like you have to you got to pay attention to you have to pay attention to a lot of things in this fight, but as you know, that's basically just like a good example of what happens whenever you let a homeboy or homebug actually attack you when it's with its limit break attack. And you know, so yeah, it's an insta nuke. So but anyways, I mean, mainly this video was just show off Eald'narche and what he does. So this video is probably gonna be split up into like a whole bunch of bits and pits, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you are gonna be pulling for Eald'narche's LD weapon or not, and let me know about him in general. So as always, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.